चलो अच्छा, what else can we do to check the visual acuity? Photorefractor, right? Photorefractor. What else can we do to check the visual acuity? Retinoscopy. Do you know that what happens in myopia? If you've seen the video, you know how the retinoscopy will appear. किस तरह से examination नजर आएगा. So when we perform a retinoscopy, we get to know that the refractive error is minus 12D in both eyes. Minus 12D in left eye, and it's minus 10D in right eye. What else would you like to perform?
Fundus examination.
A fundus examination. So you're thinking that we need to perform a slit lamp examination. So a slit lamp examination, the anterior chamber, the posterior chamber, they are all normal. So we'll move to the fundus examination, but before we go to the fundus examination, there's a concept which I want to ask. Snellen's chart में हम visual acuity हम दो तरीकों से check कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? One is normal, uninhibited, जिसमें हमें पता लग जाता है. Then we can also use a pinhole. What does this tell us? नहीं मतलब it's same on pinhole नहीं, it's lower visual acuity, it's 6/9, चलो हम कह लेते हैं, या 6/6 on pinhole. Is a concept which I want to elaborate. What does this mean?
ये पीछे कोई रेटिनल एनोमली नहीं है.
ठीक है, रेटिनल एनोमली नहीं है,
पास नहीं है.
रिफ्रैक्टिव
एरर के अलावा.
ठीक है, रिफ्रैक्टिव एरर के अलावा. So you're partly right, but there's something which you said is somewhat wrong. So what do we say then when a person has a visual acuity, he has low visual acuity on Snellen's chart, however, on pinhole, the vision is better. Okay? It might be absolutely better, it can be 6/6, or in simpler terms, it is better on pinhole. What does this mean? How is this happening?
पिनहोल के थ्रू वो अपनी अकोमोडेशन रिफ्लेक्सेस को यूज करता है ना, लेंस का जो पावर होती है उसको चेंज करता है.
So we have different concepts, right? People are doing different things. I have question mark डाल दिए, we'll discuss them. Myopia rule out करने के लिए, ठीक है? So everyone has different insights to this. You're all, it's very good that you are thinking about this. We'll discuss this later on when we do this case, this from revise. So when you perform a slit lamp examination, this is what you're saying. So what do you think is wrong with this fundus image? क्या गड़बड़ है इसमें?
Spots on retina.
ठीक है, so you're thinking there's spots. So you're thinking there's neovascularization. ठीक है? So let's see what is happening. So this is the optic disc. This must be the macula. Now the disc, the vessels are in the center. They're not at to one side. The disc is somewhat oval horizontally. We cannot see any bionetting. This is the cup and it's very small compared to the rest of the disc. But this is something wrong. Like I see one margin over here and then there's another margin over here. So something definitely wrong with the disc. I can see the retinal vessels, but behind the retinal vessels, I can also see these large red streaks. नजर आ रही है lines आपको, these large red lines which are going all around over here. So I'm seeing a few things. Now I'm going to tell you what is happening over here. In this image, when we take a closer look at it, we can see that the fundus is, the optic disc is oval, it's horizontally oval. Now, this is the normal retina, this is the retina in this case, मतलब normal तो नहीं है, जो भी है, this is the retina. This is the margin of the retina. Immediately against the margin, we have the disc. However, these red vessels, they can be traced over here. But the retina, it appears to start somewhat temporally. इस बात की आपको समझ आ रही है? If I try to outline the disc, this is the disc. Yeah? डिस्क यहाँ पे खत्म हो रही है क्योंकि ये जो लाइंस हैं पीछे वो यहाँ तक मुझे आती हुई नजर आ रही हैं. But the retina, the outermost layer, it's starting somewhat here. This is one finding which we can appreciate. Other than that, we can see that the fundus has these large streaks and these large checkered areas. These findings, if we name them, हम थोड़ा सा इसको हम दूसरे कहते हैं. This is called a tigroid or a tessellated fundus. What we're saying. What we're seeing over here is an oval disc, and an oval disc, it has a temporal crescent. You can see how it's crescent shaped and it's temporal. It's crescent shaped and it's temporal because it's present towards the macula. Similarly, on the nasal side, there's nothing we can see as of yet. So on slit lamp examination, on fundoscopy, we see a tessellated fundus. We see horizontally oval disc. We see temporal crescent. So we found 3 findings. How else would you like to work up this patient?
भाई tessellated fundus repeat कर दें please.
This is a tessellated fundus. The appearance which you're saying, it's a tigroid function. Imagine this as a tiger. And you have black and orange की जगह थोड़ा सा red किस्म के spots and that red lines, and that's how I picture it. Tessellated or a tigroid fundus. This is not normal. You know that you cannot appreciate so many lines in the normal retina. You've seen pictures of retina all हम इतने ऐसे से देखते आ रहे हैं. You can see these large lines, okay, all around, all over the retina. Similarly, in this case, you can see these large lines. That they form the pattern, which I remember. मैंने अपने लिए mechanism बनाया कि it resembles the striped pattern of a tiger somehow. Okay. Some people remember in some books it's written as a checkered pattern. This is a tessellated or a checkered or a tigroid fundus. तो ये क्यों होता है? Let's add a big question mark here and we'll discuss why this happens. और क्या examinations आप करवाना चाहेंगे इस विषय पर? Examinations or investigations?
Keratometry.
Keratometry. So you think that there's something wrong with the corneal curvature. Keratometry is an investigation. When you perform a keratometry, the keratometry turn out to be normal. और what should we do? और हम क्या करना चाहेंगे?
Axial length.
Axial length. So you're thinking that, all right, curvature normal hand, so it's not a curvature myopia. This patient has myopia. So what we can do is we can perform an axial length. Axial length हम A scan से देखते हैं. A scan reveals to you that axial length is increased. और क्या करेंगे? What else should we do in this patient? Perimetry. So thinking that, all right, this person can have a scotoma. Perimetry is also unremarkable.
Colored vision.
Colored vision. So you're thinking that something's wrong with colored vision of the patient. Colored scan, it comes out to be unremarkable. So it's unremarkable. So there's nothing wrong with the color vision of this patient. FFA, can refractive errors be hereditary? Yes, they can be hereditary. FFA, fundus fluorescein angiography and neovascularization. There's a wild ball. This person wants to perform an FFA. On an FFA, we find that there is indeed choroidal neovascularization, which I'll term as CNV, choroidal neovascularization. History of the patient, bilkul theek hai, his parents can have refractive errors. That is a good clue that you can pick up, but in this case, we don't have that clue. तो आपको मिल सकता है. Let's focus on what we have over here for the moment. Choroidal neovascularization आपको लग रही है, या in simple terms is leakiness of the dye. काफी गड़बड़ आ रही है, काफी ज़्यादा. What else would you like to perform in this patient? Or do you have the diagnosis? लेंस की नॉर्मल प्लेसमेंट आप कैसे असेस करेंगे? एक्सियल स्कैन पे. एक्सियल स्कैन जब आपको बताते हैं ना लेंथ, उसके अंदर वो जब ए स्कैन होता है, तो जहाँ पे वो डेंसिटीज की एब्नॉर्मैलिटीज चेंज होती हैं, उससे आप अंदाजा लगा लेते हैं. पहली बात एक तो. दूसरा, जब आप स्लिट लैंप एग्जामिनेशन परफॉर्म करते हैं, तो उसमें जब आप एंटीरियर चेंबर देखते हैं, यू आल्सो चेक द पोजीशन ऑफ द लेंस. अगर लेंस अपनी जगह पर है बिहाइंड द आइरिस और वो नॉर्मल, तो इट हैज अ नॉर्मल प्लेसमेंट, अ नॉर्मल पोजीशन. चलो, लेट्स.
तो हमारे पास डायग्नोसिस है नहीं एक्सियल मायोपिया.
We have a diagnosis. Yes, our diagnosis is axial myopia. There's a lot of things happening in this myopia. Our diagnosis is axial myopia. Our diagnosis is axial myopia. That is correct. But there's one more term which I would like to write, and that is pathological axial myopia. This is our diagnosis. There is 1 minute left. I'm going to end this session, and then we'll discuss this case. अगले दो cases से काफी छोटे हैं. They're much simpler than this. But this is a very high yield topic in refractive errors, and I wanted to discuss this. So I'll be back in a minute.